Hi, this is Randy Hoexter with another piano lesson. Today we're going to continue our exploration of keyboard harmony and take a look at another interesting chord shape, this one called a major 7 sharp 5. Let's take a look at a traditional standard major 7 like this. Let's raise the fifth of it. G becomes G sharp in the key of C here. Now this chord here is not part of any major key. It's a chromatic chord. It is part of a melodic minor scale. Right there. Now this shape, because it does relate to melodic minor, will give us a lot of the colors that we can get if we use melodic minor harmony. Also, we can add extra notes to it. Since we have extra fingers to use here, we have a finger resting right here on this note between the two middle notes, which would be a sharp 4 or a flat 5. Right there, whole step in between the middle notes. Likewise, we can put a note in between the top note and the whole step below the top note is where you find this. Particularly useful if you're going to use this as a line to have that extra note. Now, what can we do with this to make interesting colors, and how can we improvise with different chords using this shape? Well, looking at it in terms of displacing this shape with relation to the bass note, we get a lot of colors. Let's look at the most common one probably is to start on flat 7 with this shape. Here's a C in the root, in the bass rather, and here is the shape built on B flat. Flat 7, 9, sharp 11, and 13. Now our extra note, if we put it in the middle here, is the third, giving us a complete 7 sharp 9. Or our extra note here gives us the fifth here, which works nicely for lines. 7 sharp 11 is a very useful chord, so you're going to find this a lot. Now, probably the second most common one is to place this shape on the major third. Here we have C, major third, sharp 5, root, sharp 9. The extra note in the middle, B flat or the flat 7, giving us a complete altered dominant sharp 5, sharp 9 voicing here, and very useful that way. A couple other applications. On the flat 9, this would be taking a C and now building on D flat. Again, a beautiful chord, a sus flat 9 chord. It doesn't really have the 7th. I can either add it here or I can add it here. Either way, the lack of the 7th doesn't really change the usefulness of this, and it's a nice shape to have under your hands. On the flat 5, gives us pretty much all the ingredients except for the third of a half diminished chord. And we can add it by adding this note right here, or we can put it below the chord, putting the root as the extra note. Now, on the minor third, we end up with a minor major 7 chord, a beautiful chord here, with an extra 6th, or a duplicated root. Either one, a nice sound. Now, a couple of ones that are a little less common. One of them is to start on the flat 6 here. Now, root is C, we're starting on A flat and building our chord. We get a major chord with a flat 6th here, which is based on this mode here. We call a 7 flat 13. A nice modal chord. It's not terribly common in progressions as much as it is as a nice sort of color chord. And finally, on the perfect 5th, now this one requires a little care. If we build on the perfect 5th, we get 5th, 7th, major 7th, sharp 9, sharp 11, which is a beautiful chord. We got to be careful not to play this note here because it's no longer part of the scale. It ends up being a flat 9. We instead can use the extra note below the top, and it gives us major 7, sharp 9, sharp 11. Admittedly an unusual chord, but a pretty sound. So, these are the various uses of the major 7 sharp 5 shape. Try to get this under your hands by playing it in different roots, be able to find it based on the top note, for example, like that, or on the bottom note. In other words, your anchor point or your reference point needs to be either end of the chord so that you can find it. And then practice finding it in these different applications, and I think it'll help your harmony. So, I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.